Things are rarely as they seem.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is eSportsMonies, ESM Mac 10, whatever you want to call me, and today is March the 27th of 2017. We are currently in DotA patch 7.04, and this is my jungling guide to Abaddon. I want to preface this with the idea that I don't think jungling Abaddon is usually the correct way to play him. Abaddon excels at winning and destroying lanes, but if you find yourself in a position where you want to be jungling him, then I hope that this guide helps you. This is how I like to jungle him. He's pretty effective at jungling. And some people are asking me if I'm back, and yeah, I'm thinking I am. But why Abaddon? Because he's the first character in the Dota alphabet. I'm going to go through and try to make some kind of jungling guide for every single hero given the current patch, in terms of the bounty runes and the Iron Talon. Iron Talon. I actually haven't made a series of jungling guides since Iron Talon came out, so it's been a while. Been quite a while. So anyway, with this guide, you're going to open up with maxing Aphotic Shield by 7, getting 2 points in Curse of Avernus by 5, getting your borrowed time whenever you can, getting plus 20% experience at level 10, and I don't really care what other talents you get, that's up to you. And then you're going to go ahead and get Mist Coil once you have 2 points in Curse of Avernus, because you really don't need much more than that to jungle. Your first item is going to be a Soul Ring, and you're going to rush it as quickly as possible, because once you have a Soul Ring, you can kind of jungle indefinitely. However, you need to use your Soul Ring, then ideally you want to use Aphotic Shield before you use Soul Ring. But once you're level 5, you can use Soul Ring, then Aphotic Shield, and you have a 2-second window where you can double cast Aphotic Shield on that bonus mana, and that 2-second window is critical. It is life and death. Quite literally, it's life and death. It's the thing that lets you be a relatively efficient jungler once you hit level 5, and you're like, well, you're not that efficient up until you hit level 5. Well, you can finagle your way into that with these 2 requirements. One requirement is you need to get at least 1 bounty rune, preferably level 1, but it doesn't have to be, but you need to get at least 1 bounty rune, and you need to use your team's shrine once. In whichever side of the jungle you're using. So if you're willing to make those concessions, then you can juggle him. Once you get to level 5, it's still... well, not level 5. Once you get the Soul Ring, it still helps to get all the bounty runes you can, but you don't need them. When do I leave the jungle? Typically once I have phase boots, but again, boots, it's kind of a subjective choice. It depends on what you want to do. I like phase boots, but tranquil boots are also really good. Mana Arcane boots are really, really good. I don't get treads on Abaddon, and boots of travel are situational like they are for all heroes. After I have my boots and my Soul Ring and my Iron Talon, I will build a Vlad's, because it's just... there's no extra button to click, let's be real. No, seriously, the Vlad's gives you a very fat aura. It's not an immediate power spike, but it helps you continue to stay relevant throughout the game. Beyond that, you can look at things like Aghanim's Scepter for your borrowed time. And you can more realistically be looking at an Assault Cuirass or a Blade Mail. Really, it depends on the role that you have. Mech is not something I typically encourage in Abaddon because he's so mana-starved, but if there's no mech carrier on your team and you already got the Soul Ring, you'll probably be able to get the mana for it most of the time just because you have Soul Ring. So keep that in mind. But again, this is more of a guide on the mechanics of surviving that there jungle more than it is about building a late game, because let's face it, if you're trying to jungle a hero, then you're probably much more preoccupied with just getting to the late game and getting to the mid game than you are with what to do there. When you're jungling a hero like Abaddon, it basically says, like, I hate my teammates, so I'm going to jungle. I hate them being you either are trying to punish them because you're just trying to take a hero out of the lane on your team, or you just don't trust them and trust your jungling ability more, because it's a pretty consistent amount of farm. If you're above 4k, this is probably not going to work because of the fact that if you get a bounty hunter running around your jungle, then you could be in some serious trouble once you have the Soul Ring, because you're going to be basically suicide jungling like all the time once you have the Soul Ring. And by suicide jungling, I mean you're treating it like an armlet, but as long as you're not Eternal Envy, it'll probably be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. Totally fine. It's fine. So, Again, get that Curse of Avernus level 2. The delayed level 2 with recent patches is a bit annoying, but hey, what can you do? I'm going to go ahead and pop my shield up now. I'm not going to be able to clear this whole camp, but what I can do is deal some damage. And now I can just dip. And go over the shrine. Might have to double shield this camp, but again I have an extra tango and I still have my talent up, so it's not that big of a deal if I do. I probably won't. I'll probably just tango this camp. How do I make that call? Well, I just sort of see where I am. Again, you're trying to keep Aphotic Shield and your Soul Ring on cooldown and your Iron Talon on cooldown as much as possible once you actually have the Soul Ring, but before you have the Soul Ring, you actually kind of have to be a little bit conservative. Also, the Bounty Rune really, really helps in terms of experience because of the fact that the amount of experience you get per camp is a little bit nerfed. I will go ahead and attempt this camp. Should be fine. Should be fine. So I can double shield it, so it should be okay. After that, so what I was about to say there was, don't always hit the creeps. Don't always last hit the creeps with your right click. Get them down really low. You gotta count magic damage and then sort of factor in resistance, but you don't always want to kill them with your right clicks because of the fact that you're going to shoot at a little bit of an AoE regardless, just because of the nature of Aphotic Shield. So do that instead. So, Soul Ringed up, use my shield. So I'm not going to kill him. Shield do it. I'm going to go ahead and hold my Talon because this guy's going to die pretty quickly. Also, he's below half health. One of the times that you do want to kind of hold on to Iron Talon is if you're dealing with a guy like this that only has 300 health, you're not doing that much by using your Talon on him. You're kind of wasting a long cooldown for this 20 seconds. And then another thing to keep in mind is that if you are fighting an enemy unit that is already kind of low, then Iron Talon is going to give you some serious diminishing returns. So I'm only level 5, so it doesn't make sense for me to try to do any crazy timing things here. What I was going to try to do there is double tap the Soul Ring, or basically Soul Ring, shield, burn the shield, and shield again. But because I was only level 3, my cooldown is 10 seconds, which is the same as the duration of the sacrifice buff from Soul Ring, so it wouldn't work. Too low level. I think that will kill him with the... yeah, the AoE will kill him. We have shoes. We are currently at 5 minutes. We have boots, we have a Soul Ring, we have Iron Talon, and we're pushing level 5. Granted, we are very, very low right now. And the problem is, because we're only level 4, it's very, very difficult to do the whole suicide jungling thing because we can't double down on the Soul Ring buff. So we are kind of at a weird, like, uncomfortable spot here. I'm going to wait for a second and then Talon up this guy. If you hold mana for a while and get up enough mana to cast this, then you know that you're going to be pretty fine. Now I'm going to pull back here and shield myself before they can kill me with 0 health. Yeah, see? Fine. Again, I just want to point out that this is pretty tight, so if someone, like a bounty hunter, is picking on you, bullying you around, gonna have a bad time. So be mindful of this. Be mindful of this. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the bounty, because why not? I am going to have to Soul Ring shield this time. I should have done that a little bit earlier, just so that I wouldn't be waiting around with no cooldown on my Iron Talon. In a lot of ways, Iron Talon is something that you kind of can treat like a hand of Midas. just because you kind of always want it to be on cooldown to be as efficient as possible. And now I can kill the whole camp. And I have a soul ring charge so I can find another camp as soon as they die. So again, I'm kind of perpetually staying very low on health, but I'm not dying. And if you're careful, you won't. But if someone, you know, finds himself bojangling up in your jungle, you're gonna die. So no health, but I have shield now. I'm gonna try to get this blue dude down as low as I can, because that's one less person attacking me when he dies. And then I'll have to do a little bit of kiting here. And Abaddon's actually pretty decent at kiting just because of the fact that he has that Curse of Avernus slow.
Bottom is missing.
I didn't need to be kiting there. I could have just walked up and face tanked him, like I ended up doing. Alright, so now I'm up to 115 mana, so once again I can sort of double dip. Shield. When the shield breaks, I will back off. Hit this guy once. Hit him again. The reason I'm not burning Soul Ring just yet is because I know I'm going to be brought down to 0. Now go ahead and burn it. And I guess I'll use Talon here. Yeah, it's a good thing I used Talon there. And now I have Borrowed Time. I'm level 6. One thing I do want to point out is Experience in the Jungle is just getting progressively worse. Right now, Abaddon, my money is not that bad. Like, you're shooting for around 7 minutes for a Vlad's on a Lycan, so that's just Iron Talon plus Vlad's. That's just those, like, 2 items. Soul Ring's like 800 gold, and I have 1500 here, so I'm actually roughly... I'm only like 40 seconds behind a Lycan at this point, but my levels are lagging a bit. Also, I do have the Bounty Rune boosting me up a bit. But I'm going to try to go find a camp to really just like mess me up and then just like pop my ult. So I'm going to go ahead and roll over here. Again, level 6 for Abaddon, just because of the fact that all of his skills scale linearly. There's no time where I'm just like, man, I really should just, you know, like, there's never like this, like, moment where you're suddenly God tier because you're sort of like God tier the whole game until the super, super late game and where you fall off. But you're pretty strong the whole game. I'm gonna go ahead and burn that. Again, easy camp, it's not very much money. Hit him again. He wouldn't die there. And so we're at 9 minutes and 20 seconds. So currently we're at 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Kind of a bad game considering that we had the bounty runes. This is sort of like the result that you want if you've only got 1, maybe 2 bounty runes instead of like the 3 or 4 that I grabbed. So currently we have most of Vlad's. Granted, when I was first drafting this guide, Vlad's was a decent bit cheaper. So assuming that Vlad's was like 1900, 2000, we're pretty close to a Vlad's. We would have been back then. But we do have our upgraded boots. So we've got phase boots essentially. So it's 840 minus. Putting us at around, we've got over 500 gold. So we can buy our Ring of Basilius and a TP. So, not bad. Ring of Basilius obviously builds into Vlad's, gives us a little bit of armor, gives us a little bit of mana regen, and we, as you've sort of seen by this guide, are very, very mana starved. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about this video, feel free to hit me up on Twitter or leave a comment here. My name is eSportsMonies, ESM, Mac10, whatever you want to call me. Sorry this guide turned out longer than I expected, but there you go. Have a good one, y'all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you're wondering if I'm wearing the Team Liquid hat just to record this video, the answer is yes, and it is my hat. If you're wondering if I'm also wearing the MLG Courier shirt for this video, the answer is no, this is just the shirt that I wore today because I love this shirt. I don't wear a hat all the time, but you get the idea. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button. Really helps me out, really appreciate it. I'm kind of playing around with a little bit of video editing, as you guys can tell. Trying to cut down the length of my videos a little bit, but as you can tell, based on my rambling and based on the length of this guide, haven't been super successful in that. If you like this content and want to see more of me, please follow me on Twitter at eSportsMonies. And again, look forward to more guides coming out from me in the near future. So have a good one. Thanks for watching, y'all.